you have made out of this lockdown, and things are like crazy. People have lost jobs, people have lost family members, economies are breaking down, but how do people cope with what is happening around them? You almost have to look a bit deeper. But spiritually, how?
This is a good time for us to sit back and look, what are we doing? What is really normal for us? What is normal for a human being? Is something I think the whole world needs to look at it. It's unfortunate, over 1 million lives have been lost, yes, it is true. Many people have lost their loved ones. More than anything, not only losing the loved ones, they've not been able to tend to them in the final stages. They've not even been able to attend funerals. Governments are burying or cremating people, which is a terrible thing. And of course the economic loss, the loss of jobs, loss of closure of businesses, all this happening. This is true for a whole lot of people, but it's for us either when outside situations do not go the way we expected them to go, this is the time for human beings to dig deep inside and see in what way we can break our limitations and do something absolutely new, something innovative, something… This is the time to explore human genius. When everything is going good, you don't have to. You can just go like a standard person, all right, whatever you call is normal. I don't like to be normal because normal people don't do anything significant.
Yes.
So, this is the time for everybody to dig into their genius. This is the time for everybody to turn inward and question, what is my life about? What is this all about? Because we are just here for a brief amount of time. In this time, it's very important, at least we are crystal clear, what is it that we want to do with this life? Where do we want to invest this life? This must be clear to every human being. Unfortunately, I would say 90% of the people have no clarity about where they want to invest their life. Simply by chance they've gotten into something, because they have a qualification they're doing something, because they were in a place they've gotten into something, Outside influences are determining what we're doing. This is not the nature of the human being. It's human consciousness which must determine how the outside situation should be. But right now we are allowing outside situations to determine how the human consciousness should be. This is a tragic situation for humanity because it's only a human that we call as a being, all right? We don't call your African lions as lion beings, we don't call elephants as elephant beings. You can't call even a rhinoceros a being, all right?
Yes.
You call only a human a being because this one is supposed to know how to be. If you know how to be, what is the problem? If you really know how to be right now, what is the problem? If you know how to be, you will keep yourself in the best possible way right now, whatever the situation. It doesn't matter what is the situation. Whatever the situation, you will keep yourself in the best way. Right now, this virus has come compared to what generations of people have gone through. Let's say you look back on the last 3 generations, let's say in the last 100 years, what people have gone through. They've gone through World War I, they've gone to World War II, they've gone through Spanish influenza where millions of people died. I don't know what's the number, but a very big number died. And they didn't have medicines, they didn't have the facilities that we have. Nobody could speak to each other on social media. Look at this, you are in Dubai or Sharjah, where are you?
Dubai right now, yeah.
You're in Dubai and I'm speaking to you here from Tennessee. Was this possible for your grandfather or my grandfather? Could they talk to each other? There's no way.
Yeah.
So with all this technology, with all this facility, with everything that we have, our survival is better organized than ever before. We should not be complaining. This is the time to dig in and see how life evolves for us, and we must see what best we can do. My only concern is people should not starve in this time. For that, we've been making efforts around our areas, we've been feeding people, 16 to 18,000 people continuously we've been cooking and feeding. Many other organizations, the governments, everybody is doing their bit. In today's world where food is so well organized, nobody should starve to death, that much we must take care. If nourishment is taken care of, you shouldn't be really cribbing about so many things. Other things are there. What we have today, suppose we lose, suppose we have a car, when we lose it, we're crying about it. Well, your grandfather did not have a car and he was fine, isn't it, walking? Hello? So what is the big deal we are making about all this? It's not necessary to make such a misery out of life. Right now, most people have more time than they ever had for themselves, their family and everything. That also they're complaining. People are going into mental illness pandemic, now people are predicting suicide pandemic. Well, if the virus doesn't get you, you'll get yourself, is it? What is the logic behind that? The most important thing right now is stay alive. And sure, everybody around you stays alive. See, right now in the India Yoga Center, we have nearly 4,000 people, not a single infection. Here we have a little over 100 people, not a single infection. We traveled, 16 of us, 17 of us, we traveled across America where there's heavy infected areas, but not a single infection. So this is all it takes, a little responsible, conscious action. That's all it takes from the human being, because that is what is expected of a human being, that he is supposed to know how to be. If you know how to be, this virus is not a challenge.
Yes. I think that's very interesting, you know. What I took from that is digging into your genius. And when you are thrown with adversity, you know, how you respond to it. It's very similar to sport, because you do go through a lot of ups and a lot of downs. But when you are down, as a sportsman particularly, that's when you actually learn the most about your game. And when it's going well, as you've stated, that's when you don't really need to do anything different. So that's something that people can really take on board. That's really lovely. I like that phrase, dig into your genius. That's really phenomenal. And also counting your blessings, and not complaining about things that are kind of trivial. Having food, a basic need like food, is the most important thing and the best thing.
I must tell you this, in southern India, even today, if you go into the rural India, maybe it is true in Africa also.
Yeah.
In southern India, when somebody wants to greet you, in the villages I'm saying, they will ask you, "Uta aita, saptingla." What it means is, have you eaten?
Oh, right.
Because in their mind, if you've eaten, there
Yeah.
can be no other problem.
Yeah.
What other problem do you have? Have you eaten? That's the greeting. Nobody will ask you, "How are you?" Nobody will say good morning. The morning is already good. The only problem is you, isn't it? If you've eaten, you shouldn't have any problems. That's what I'm saying. If you're nourished, beyond that, rest is all extra. As a generation of people, we have more things than any generation ever had. We have more conveniences, we have more comforts, we have more technologies, we have more access to everything. Like never before in the history of humanity, never anybody had these things, isn't it? But we are complaining like never before.
I mean,
Global now, the complaints are not local anymore. Everything is global because they're on the Facebook.
and Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, yeah.
Instagram. Speaking about global stuff, and so social media especially, I actually came across you on social media. I think a lot of people would have. When I was about 20, 21, I was searching on YouTube, looking at spiritual videos, and obviously you came up. That's how I got to know you, and I would watch videos here and there. So it's actually quite cool that I'm chatting to you now. But when you look at things like Black Lives Matter, and in South Africa, there's also campaigns like Farmers' Lives Matter, and other people say all lives matter. As a sportsman, you know, I get asked that question a lot of times, and it doesn't have to. For me, it's not about cricket. It's not about politics. Not about business. All lives matter. As you've stated, it's about human beings, right? But I just want to have your take on what is happening on that front in humanity around the world when it comes to life mattering.
Yesterday evening, I was in Memphis. I was at the Martin Luther King Memorial, Dr. Martin Luther King Memorial, where in that hotel, Lorraine, where he was shot.
Yeah.
So, when you go into this museum, it's not it's new to us, we know this. It's heart-rending just seeing those images. Not just about his death, but what he was fighting for, what was happening in the country. It tears you apart. It may be half a century ago or a century ago, but when you look at it, just the images are, and the statistics are unbelievable. 12.5 million African people were captured and brought as slaves. So when you look at these images, it's heart-rending. But if you invest in the wounds of the past, you will also become wounded. When you're wounded, when you're in pain, when you're in anger, when you're resentment, you cannot think straight. You will get poisoned. And with this poison, nobody else dies but you. Resentment, anger, hatred are poisons that you drink, but you expect somebody else to die. Life doesn't work like that. It kills you in so many ways. So the thing is, whether we want to invest in our dead fathers, it's not that we don't respect them, it's not that we did not value them, it's not that we have no regard for them, but still we cannot invest in the dead. We have to invest in the living and the next generation and the unborn child, we must invest in him and her. That's what is important. So bitterness is not going to help us. But at the same time, you cannot forget what's happened. There is no way to forget that. Everybody should remember, from both ends, everybody concerned must remember what we have done to other people as human beings. And for those it's happened also, they must remember not to grow in resentment and anger, but to ensure that such things don't happen to anybody else. Because I want you to understand, the people who did the most horrible things on this planet, when they were doing it, they thought they're doing the right thing.
Yes.
They thought they were doing the right thing. That is the worst part of humanity, that you can twist your intelligence whichever way you want, and you can do the most horrendous things to another human being and think you're doing the right thing. So this is the problem with belief systems, with philosophies, with ideologies, because they will twist your mind to believe this is the right thing that you're doing. Because many religions in the world clearly say that it is perfectly okay to take a slave.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes, the scriptures in the world say this. Not one, many.
Okay.
So, people have always been quoting that. This is all right, this is what is said in our book, this is what we do. But if you allowed your humanity to overflow, you knew that it's not good. If you just… what you are doing to the other person, if you are giving him 100 lashes, if you just took one lash on your back, you would know this is not the thing to do, isn't it? If you put your child there and gave 10 lashes, you would know this is not the thing to do. But you, instead of awakening your humanity, everybody is busy cooking up belief systems, philosophies, ideologies. How much bloodshed has happened because we believe something, because we are adhered to an ideology or to a philosophy, how much has happened around the world. Some have been recorded, most has not been recorded, believe me. Recording has happened only in the last 150 years to some extent. Before that, people did all these things without any problems, and they did not feel bad about it because it was endorsed by their scripture or their philosophy or their ideology or whatever their morality they had. You don't need morality, you don't need ethics, you don't need anything. What you need is an overwhelming sense of humanity. That all of us have. Have we locked it up inside or have we kept it active? That's all the question is.